thank you for
Desiree de Wit.
for joining us, and I see there's Laila as well. And we want to wish you a very, very happy New Year. And we are planning to talk tonight about our posts from last week. So what we will do at Conscious World Agents, every day we try to, except for the Friday during the week, we post something about consciousness, about our own experiences, but also about other people's experiences that they share with us. So Conscious World Agents is really about bringing us all together and exploring the concept of consciousness. What does it mean? What are the levels? What are we talking about? So it's exploring that and also expanding our own level of consciousness. And we have been asked to talk about that more. So hence we started Conscious World Agents.
Yeah.
And we also are invited to speak about that. What does it mean? Consciousness, conscious relationships, conscious living, and so forth.
Conscious leadership.
Yes, so that's what we talk about. And so tonight, what we are going to do is we're going to go over those posts from last week, and then we'll have a 5 minutes question and answer after that.
So if you have questions about the topic we discuss, please ask it here, and I will look at my phone and I will read the question and we will answer you. Basically what we do is in 1 week we use more or less one topic, and the topic of this last week was about making conscious decisions. So can you start with your first post that you wrote?
Yes. So my first post was about being conscious about how you think and moving towards the positive. So, we could argue about or have a discussion about what does positive and negative mean. Ultimately, we don't want to put labels on things. But what I found in my experience is that when something is negative or you're surrounded by so-called negative people or situations, it has somehow an effect on us. Everything sort of on a vibrational level starts to move then towards the negative. Yeah. And it's not really focusing on the solutions. So what I have found is that noticing and becoming conscious, what is my mind doing? Is my mind wanting to follow that? Also, like in neuroscience, it said that 10% of our mirror neurons are copying other people's behavior. Yeah. So you can imagine if we are under a sort of negative or maybe not so positive outlook mindset people, that is somehow having an effect on us. So what my post was about is how can I be aware that when I'm faced with a challenge in my life, or somebody challenges me, or I'm just in my mind not really on a more conscious level, operating on a more conscious level, what can I do to move towards the positive? And basically why I choose that is because it also has an effect on our body. It has not just an effect on our mind, but soon as my mind is thinking negatively, it's starting to affect the body, which ultimately then causes disease. Which can be stress, can be heart-related problems, all those things, anxiety, depression even. But if we move towards the positive, it's also more likely that the others move along with you in that way. So I found that really helpful. So that was my post, was about that I have a choice to say, right, in this situation, am I moving towards something that is more helpful for me, or towards something that is more unhelpful, unbeneficial?
Yeah, and what you also, it's a nice question, you also ask a lot to me or to yourself. Mm-hmm. What would love choose at this moment?
Yes, so what I like to do in when I'm in those situations is really also connecting with my heart and saying, what would love do? What would my mind or my words or my actions be doing when I would operate from a stance of love and compassion, perhaps as well. So that was what my post was about.
Yeah, great. My post was about the challenge that we have in our daily life, especially in this crisis period. Where are we all related to, or at least it has influence on us? How conscious can you stay? And it's also about using this time to think about, what do I really want in my life? How is my daily job? Am I really happy in what I'm doing? How is it with my relationship? How is it in general with my life? All these kind of things. These questions, if you ask this now more and more to yourself, you will get answers. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop your relationship or quit your job. That's not what we mean. We mean, how do you feel right now, at this moment? And what if it's not perfect right now, what would it mean for you? What would be the benefit for you if it was a perfect job? If your relationship was perfect? How would it look like for you? How would you feel? What would be the benefit for yourself, but also what would be the benefit for the other person? And what kind of conscious decision can you take now after answering these questions for yourself that would be the first step towards that ideal picture? For instance, for me, I think 2 months ago, two and a half months ago, I decided to stop the fighting in my life. And the fighting is more the fighting inside myself, the struggle that I sometimes feel. And then the universe will challenge you, will test you. How big do you want this? How big is your desire to get rid of the fighting and the struggle in your life? And what it helped was that I could take step backs instead of stepping forwards. I had some challenges, but I had the choice to go into the fighting mode, more or less the survival mode, or step back and say, well, no, I want to be clear, but with compassion. So it doesn't mean you have to accept everything. It's about being clear for yourself, for the other person, but with compassion towards the other person. So ask yourself in this time, this moment, New Year is beginning, ask these questions. How would my life look like if it was perfect? What if I would have a different job? How would my relationship be if it was full of passion and full of love? And what can I do to change this?
Yeah, to move towards that, and also how you were feeling with that as well.
Yeah, the feeling part is for us very important. Yeah. It's not only thinking positive, it's especially feeling the positive side. And that's the emotional guidance system that you have. If it really feels positive, if you are so excited, if you feel the bliss, then this is the path that you need to take.
Yeah, some people call that like being in alignment, with being aligned with your frequency, your purpose, something that is really connecting with the vibration of that. And you might all know in maybe past experiences, you might have been in a situation and it just didn't feel right. There was something inside you that said, this feels off. So it's following that and then moving towards that. And that's what you've been doing. And like we said before, we are really here to share what has helped us to understand. And our history with that is based in yoga, in Eastern philosophy, in studying, in meditation, all kinds of things that we have practiced that has helped us. And not saying that we're speaking the truth, as in this is the truth, but we speak from the truth from our heart, what has so far helped us.
Yeah.
And that is in all different ways that we've explored that and still are exploring it, and now also exploring it with you.
Yeah, it's very important is to know that you already overcome some challenges in your life so far. So it's also important to look for the resources that you used at that moment, because we do it in our own way, but you have your own way also to face the challenges in your life. What is helping you? What was helping you? And do more of this. And what's not helping you, stop with that. But that takes a conscious decision every time.
Yeah, and that's coming back to the topic of today, to make conscious choices. And my second post of the last week was about meditation and what helps me to stay on that level of being conscious about my thoughts and my actions. Because ultimately, if I go beyond all these labels and all these layers that I've put upon myself from the moment I was born, and I started to create habits based on patterns that I've witnessed and that created the personality Claudia. When I go beyond all that, like I let go of all those labels, there is this inner peace inside me, this that is always there, that was there from the beginning. It's never not been there, so I don't have to look for it. I just need to reconnect with that. And when I meditate, that's often then where I can go with that I go to that connection place again, and that's where there is everything is actually not there anymore. It's just empty, and I can see things for what they are, truly are. But that's perhaps a whole other story for another time. But the meditation helps me with that, and because we are all having busy lives, and I see, by the way, Rona Lees is watching, so that's really lovely as well. No, please don't do that.
No, okay.
That's great.
All
And so what it is, my meditation is about often also generating the compassion for myself and generating the compassion for others. Because what I have found with one of my teachers, who is Lama Zopa Rinpoche from the Mahayana tradition, the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, he really helped me, and so has His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to see that true happiness in my heart comes when I help others. And by helping others, I help myself. I become less selfish and just less self-absorbed in my thoughts. And just by doing things for others, things start to shift automatically inside me. And I became more aware of certain thought patterns that were not so helpful. So my meditation practice, such as having a prayer or a wish, let's call it a wish for this sake, is that I wish all beings be happy, all beings be free. And free meaning that they can see things for what they are, become detached from things on the ultimate level. So, and because we still have our personalities, that's not always easy. It's just like still this humanness that wants to interfere with that absoluteness that we are. So that's often still in the way with me, and that meditation really helps. And when I'm really busy or I'm under some stress or whatever, I can feel a slight shift starting to happen. I'm like, oh no, go back to that place of where the peace is. I take myself with my mind away from that place that's already there. So to find inner peace, meditation really helps me. And we find with Conscious World Agents, you're all hopefully wanting to step on board with that, just becoming conscious people who are aware of their thoughts and aware of their patterns, and ultimately knowing that none of that is the truth of who you really are, but that there is this peace inside you that is waiting for you to be connecting again with the heart and the mind, this whole connection coming together, and then wanting to be shared with the world. And that's what we would love to see happening more and more. And there's so many people already doing that. We are just, just a little microcosm in that macrocosm of what's already happening. We would just feel that's how we want to completely live our day.
And that's beautiful, because my second post of last week was about the choice you can make between fear or faith. And fear is most of the times you choose for fear due to the fact that you think in lack, or you're afraid of letting go, you want to have control, but also maybe losing your job. And then, of course, then you feel the frustration or the fear. That's completely understandable. But if you want to find the peace inside of yourself and act from that feeling, you have to step from fear to faith. And if you are a conscious world agent, you already know that the universe will help you. The world is much, much, much bigger than this body that we are in now. So if you are going to step into faith, you have a different overview over the same situation. And it's in a much higher level of consciousness. And from that higher level of consciousness, just like Einstein said, you cannot change the problem or solve the problem with the same kind of level of consciousness where you created it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if you have faith in that there is a solution, maybe you cannot see it right now, but there is a solution. And if you have faith, then that's just what Claudia explained. For instance, via meditation, but there are a lot of other things, and you feel the calmness and the peace inside of yourself, I guarantee you, you will have other solutions than when you stay in this fear mode. And that means that you need to make again a conscious decision about where do you want to stay.
Yeah.
And that's personal leadership also. And in the post I wrote something about some leaders really from a company I had a conversation with, and they were constantly stepping in fear, thinking in lack. And I understand it in this crisis where we are.
Challenging, yeah.
It's very challenging.
Yeah.
But it will not help you. That's what we really want to share with the world.
Yeah.
And the faith part will definitely help you at least to find the inner peace.
Yeah, and you all know also when you are working, we, for example, work with leaders from companies, big companies and small companies, but it's like, you know, when that person is really has personal leadership that is conscious and is aware of their thoughts and how they present themselves to the team and so forth, that has an effect on the team as well. So it's that rippling effect all the time, and it's fine when you can sit in meditation in a cave somewhere nice high on a mountain or in the Himalayas, but once you actually have to interact all the time or you have a busy job, it becomes a whole different story. Or where you're a parent or you have a relationship, imagine people are 24/7 together all the time. It can be wonderful, but it can also be a challenge for some people. So what is that? So if you're aware, like, okay, I really feel that I have to make a choice here, a conscious choice, rather than letting the situation escalate and so forth. Those are personal leadership starter points already. And again, if you want to have peace in the world, then it starts with you and with us, you know. So
and from the moment that you start to think at least about the situation where you're in, you're already influencing the level of consciousness.
Yeah.
So you get out of the reactive mode.
Yes.
And you stand still for 30 seconds, a minute, an hour, it doesn't matter. But from the moment that you stand still, take a breath and think about the situation, how you want to act, react, response, that's already a higher level of consciousness.
Yeah, rather than being caught up in the subconscious.
Yeah.
But you know that moves on an old pattern that you're familiar with, that is in your comfort zone. So we really feel that we want to go up a little bit higher around that, and perhaps another level higher.
And with Conscious World Agents, we want to help you with more practical things about consciousness.
Yeah.
We can talk really in a high level about, and it starts to get fluffy for a lot of persons. And we think consciousness is being aware of your existence, the way you act, the way you look at your sensations around you, and the way you think.
Yeah, that is one level of your consciousness, and there's also another level of consciousness that we don't want to go into that right now. But being conscious about what you do, what you think, that mindfulness response, you said, becoming aware, that is already so helpful. And so that's what we wanted to talk about today. Then also we want to see if there's maybe some questions, and then we move forward.
I cannot see it here, the question.
No, maybe there are no any questions, because that's something else. So,
is that something else? Okay. Sorry.
So no, that's fine.
She knows it.
What I would like to say, next week we're going to talk about subconscious levels.
Yeah.
So how we operate from that. So we'll go. Our post will be about that as well, about that subject. And any case, if there's something right now that you feel, okay, I really want to do that, or even after you've watched this film, because I know that some people couldn't watch tonight, but they will watch it later.
Yeah.
Then write the question under there, and we'll see if we can respond on that.
Yeah.
And we always also looking to move forward in the positive sense. So there's sometimes people who want to create some little friction and things like that. We're not really looking for that. We're just here to explore with each other. And the thing is, we're not only exploring with the two of us, we also have some guest speakers coming up. Right. So we're negotiating with some wonderful guest speakers who will also discuss consciousness and the level of consciousness, about what their perspective is. So, for example, one of my teachers in India, where I did my classical yoga training and so forth, we want to hear also how they speak and explore via the Vedic teachings, and some other people from a Western perspective, from an African perspective. We want to hear the whole inclusivity from the whole world. What is consciousness? What is it all about? So, we want to share that with you. So.
And thank you, Laila, for your command and
yes, for your comment.
Command.
Yes,
comment.
Comment. So, but thank you for that, Laila, and I hope you also received that video because I did resend it to you, and I apologize for that not being delivered by transfer.
Talking about that video, we have a small video with you that's about 3 steps how to raise your level of consciousness. If you want also this video, please send an email to info@consciousworldagents.com. Info, and we will write it also in the post, info@consciousworldagents.com. So write an email and we will send you the video.
Fantastic. Perhaps you can have a look at what Laila said there. That would be brilliant.
Laila,
I don't have my glasses.
Okay, Laila said, thank you for your generosity first and sharing your experience. Anything to share about practices, tools on how to drive faith and consciousness when the fear is on the top of the scale and overtaking everything? Well, that's a very, very...
Very good question.
Yeah.
Very valid question right now, because a lot of people are struggling with that. Yeah, maybe you want to say something?
Yeah, well, when it's already that far, it's so difficult to get back. Mm-hmm. So if you are really conscious, then maybe in an earlier stage you could already had a feeling or a thought or something happening in your body that said, this is not the right path. This is something is happening right now. And that's, for us, the moment to slow down. Yeah. To slow down, to feel what's happening right now with me. And if you go on and on and on, then there will be, most of the times, a tsunami that is coming over you.
Yeah, it'll be overwhelming. And
it's so difficult to handle at that moment and to stay in the faith. Yeah. The faith part needs to be in an earlier stage. Yeah. And what I think is, even if everything is going well, constantly make the decision, I have the faith, everything is going well. And once you do this more and more and often, then this will be some kind of mantra for you also. I have faith. Although it will be challenging, although it will be difficult, I have faith that there will be a solution. You want something to add?
Yeah, I would like to say, because in that moment when it's really difficult, and I can really speak from experience, you know, sometimes it's just then good to find a right moment when you can just sit down and just allow that fear to be there, because the fear will want to come out somehow. But if you can see it for just being that, it's this it's just an emotion. It's just it's not real actually, but you experience it being real. And it wants to come out, and it's sitting in your body. Maybe you shake, or you have a headache, or you're nervous, or you have a level of anxiety. What I find really helpful is then just to do a few breathing exercises. Just slowing down, just even if you're maybe at work, just take yourself, if you have no quiet space, to the bathroom and just go and sit there and just do, you know, some nice easy breathing, and then just realizing that the feeling is there, and then letting it go, and then trying to move forward with that. And becoming more mindful in your thought, more conscious in your thought patterns, that will help it to let it escalate too much, and have the faith with that. So there's some gentle meditations that you can do around that, and we will record some for you as well, because I've learned some from the yoga tradition, but also from the Buddhist tradition, some very helpful methods that can be helpful for that as well. But I can fully empathize with what you're feeling.
So, Leila, hopefully this will answer your question. And Lorna, she wrote, thank you both. I look forward to hearing different experiences and viewpoints on consciousness.
Okay.
Kiss, kiss.
No, she's. I did a lot of work with Lorna in Scotland when I lived there for a lovely time, a long time. So thank you, Lorna, for watching us. And
we will definitely come with experiences of our own, some tools that we use, and hopefully you already got some tools that we shared today. Just watch the posts that will hopefully challenge you, trigger you, feel... what do you want to say?
No, it's good.
Okay. Okay, that it will give you the feeling that you have more tools there, but we definitely also, during the Facebook Lives that we are going to do every Friday, we will help you, and please ask these questions to us.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that was it for today. It was really wonderful to be here with you. And thank you all very much for watching.
Yeah.
We've just started this, so it's all new for us as well in this way. We look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you for your support. We have a website also that we put some videos on from other traditions than just one, for example.
Yeah.
And some things from ourselves as well. So we're still updating that. So if you go at consciousworldagents.com, you can see also some inspirational videos around that. So have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you all hopefully next time. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.